those stats, Mike, are against advanced teams. I don't know how they're going to perform against a top MDL team.
Yeah, I mean, the reality with Team 1 is they usually don't have that many maps played on Train because usually no one lets them play Train. If you've watched Team 1 on Train, it is usually not a pretty picture for their opponents. So I'm sure they were licking their chops and smiling gleefully when they realized that Depth were going to veto to it. And this is a bold move by Depth. If they win here, they completely flip the script and, you know, shock us, to be quite frank, stun us. But it is going to be a task. Maluk's already spotted some, but he's going to drop the smoke and set up PRT in the corner. They will come through. They will clear it. Here's the damage. There's the kill of Maluk and PRT. But no, it comes back. It comes back. And there's a third on it as well. Mobs went down in the fray, so now it's a 2v2. And this is potentially winnable. This is potentially viable. Less so. Now that Dare is all on his lonesome. We're going to have to get past both these pistols. Going to go ahead and withdraw from Ivy, give up whatever control he had, but recognize that keeping the Spectre in the back of their heads about where he's headed is his greatest ally in this fight.
Yeah, so Dare with 48 seconds left. Looks like he's leaning more towards that B site. Pesa's waiting there, and no, actually, he's going to back off, look for some info, but the timing is against him for the time being, as Dare continues his trek in towards B.
Is he going to catch Pesa in the back? Nope, Pesa has just wrapped. That's brutal timing for Dare. That's got to be so awkward. He's going to have no idea that there's a player upper, because why would he suspect that? You can see he's not even checking it. The crosshair didn't even flick up. He's clearing spools instead. So as soon as he starts to tap this, all right, he's making footsteps. Now he's been spotted. Now he's tapping the bomb, and he is dead. Done and dusted. Pesa literally one step ahead of him. And that was just enough for the Brazilian to catch him off guard. So nicely done. It looked like Depth might have something there for a moment, but just as quickly that evaporated. So Team 1 start off on the right foot on the CT side. They're going to be breaking out the AUG already in the hands of Barton. Kind of love that. This is one of those maps where you can certainly make the AUG work. You got 2 SMGs. Meanwhile, on the other side, just opting for the Glock play. 1 PT-50 on Tel. Literally no utility. So it's not going to be the smoke sidewalk that we've come to know and love from so many teams. It's just going to be, you know, try our luck. And Dare, well, he'll live up to his name. He dares to peek down and probably lost a foot in that encounter.
Yeah, he did get tagged in that foot down to 60 HP. The rest of Depth's actually going to come in from T-Con. Malb stores a smoke in the meantime, as Team 1 looking to increase their lead to 2. What a flick from Malbs! He hears Dare drop down through the smoke, flicks to the common angle, and gets him. It was just a reflex shot. That's muscle memory, Mike.
What's the plan here?
I don't know.
They're slowly filtering out of T-Con in a smoke with Glocks? What's your... There is no plan here. Now they just slowly walk out. That's not going to work, boys. But, all right. Look, it's just a Glock round, John, but Dev gave themselves no chance to succeed in that round. That was the strangest Glock round I've ever seen. You have one player individually just sort of teasing down ladder to see if he'd get it for free. Turns out he doesn't. He dies. Then you've got 4 guys walking through a smoke out T-Con, all just to die, also individually. And burst to sight and try and get a bomb plant at least, man. Don't just, you know, walk to your doom. There we go. There's going to be a change. Snav goes forward. Snav gets himself a pick as Malbs was trying to close the gap with the MP9. He was a little too slow into that angle. Now they've got an advantage. They've got the rifles as well. Maybe Depth can do something in the push. Oh, the push is punished. Maluk's now down. That was one of the rifles. There's a molly as well. Barton with the hop. This is so ballsy. How does this work? How is he not punished for that play, especially with an AUG? One of the worst guns for a close-range engagement in the current meta. That's nuts. PRT's going to catch 40 coming around this corner. He gets the kill as well. This could be swinging back the other way. Damage is done, to be fair, but look at this boost up on the ticket. Things are getting spicy now, and there's the spot of the player on top of the train car and the kill. Oh, no. It's all swinging out of whack here for Depth. They've given back all their advantages. Good shot, but at the cost of so much health for Tel. And he just takes down PRT, who was low to begin with.
Oh.
Basically getting caught out in the open, though, leaves everything on to Barton. Barton already has 2 kills to his name. He's looking for more, but he's just going to collect 1 upside the head. So Depth, they recover. Nice play from Kel, but, oh man, that looked so risky, John.
Yeah, I mean, Depth almost threw that one away. They got some really good entry frags, a couple, in fact. Then Team 1, Barton, managed to dance his way up with that AUG into the B tunnels, got 1, then came around to the A site for a second. You thought for a moment that Team 1, like you were mentioning, would be in control from that bomb train, but could not pull it off. Good on Depth to make everything work, especially Kel with that SG as he gets another one over on Mobs. This time, though, Team 1 only have pistols. PRT did get the scout, but Kel is really rocking with that SG. You don't see it used very often anymore as PRT gets there. One back, but it looks like it's going to be all depth here, Mike, unless Barton can put on a show. He gets a nice shot with the Deagle, but Shane gets the last one. That's going to be a 3K for depth, but as I was saying, yeah, the SG not commonly used anymore, but on a map like Train, where you can get long-range engagements and those one-tap headshots, it's still useful.
Kind of odd that we didn't see much utility from depth in that round, but as a result, they're going to keep 3 nearly full util bets into the next round, and now they've got a very good buy with rifles with the 1 Krieg, but come in the other direction. Here's the investment from Team 1, and it's a double op right off the bat. Maluk and Barton both bringing in the big guns. This is going to get spicy. I'm curious to see where they play it. Maluk typically, as I recall, plays Ivy, or likes to get aggressive with the op-in towards Ivy, and I'm curious about where they position Barton. Could go for the upper B pick, could go for a little bit of motion on the outside. Let's see. Let's see what they do. We do have a pause coming in here. I'm not sure whether this is... Seems like it is a technical pause coming in as the magic voice in my ears does whisper to me. The magic voice today, folks, by the way, is Boggs, Mr. Austin Boggs Bogdanovich. So, you know, give him some love. Harass him in chat if he T-Tours up anything. And he's going to be pressing all the buttons for us this evening. So, I don't know. It's going to be kind of interesting to me. I think depth, they've had some really nice ideas on these entries when they have the rifles in their hands. I don't know that I've loved their mid-rounding. I think there's a little bit of hesitancy to use utility, and I think that I'm very curious about how this next round goes. I'm not convinced yet. It's 2-2. I'm intrigued, John. I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
But I'm not convinced yet by depth on this map.
I mean, we'll have to see. Like I said, I mean, they did have success here on Train in the past, not yet at the MDL level, but what better team to test your skill on this map than Team 1, who, as mentioned before, love to play here and are very good on it. One player I wanted to highlight a little bit is Barton. He actually had a coming out party last match. He got 22 frags and a plus 14 kill to that differential and a 113.0 ADR. He was strong for Team 1 last season, but struggled a little bit as this season started. Didn't really matter because everyone else was playing amazingly for Team 1, but now he's starting to find his rhythm, and that's just bad news for their opponents.
Good shot. Now they've got to drop the smoke. They were too slow to do it the first time. You really need to drop that utility immediately. It's another thing I'm noticing. Depth just very timid with the util, but there is very little to no util for the retake here for Team 1. So they're going to have to shoot their way through. Paces, meanwhile, come up the ladder. He's not been checked. Shane's coming back and lost focus. Had responsibility for that ladder, but too much presence on site made him flinch. Now Pace is doing more, and that's going to be a big problem. You let Pace in the back lines, he will punish you. And now it's down to a 1v2. Florgy already has 3 kills to his name. He needs the ace. He's got the 4th. He's out of bullets. He's gone to the sidearm. Has to get the reload up here. Maluk's going on top of the cards. The no-scope. Drop shot no-scope. The most improbable round break, but it is going to be Team 1 coming out on top. Well, that was madness at the end. Yes, there is. Just barely. Nuts from Florgy to get 4 kills and almost the 5th. But here's the thing. Because 4 players die there, John, there's no money for Team 1.
Yeah, that's really problematic, and what a show by Florgy. I mean, like you were saying, that nice 4K that he pulled off, all from the bomb train at the B site, helped depth at least stay into this round economically. And you see Team 1, they have to settle for 2 MP9s, an M4A4, and M4A1S, and of course the op in Maluk's hands. And already Kel has taken advantage of the engagement with Mobs who had the MP9. AK wins out. 5v4 for depth in the first 15 seconds of the round. So they could do some damage here and tie this one up once more.
That is now twice that Mobs has been punished in that exact same angle. Oh, Florgy's about to die. Can Maluk survive? There's a smoke here to give him some space. The spam coming in. He's going to go ahead and get out of there. Nicely played from Maluk. But I think they're maybe going to try and stop testing that fast ladder play. That was a nice idea from Snav. Unfortunately, ladder inaccuracy means he doesn't get the kill. And meanwhile, PRT has retaken up the angle on ladder. There's a player walking out. Smoke by camera. Dare does get a kill, but it's the wrong player. If he'd taken out the op, maybe had a chance for the second transfer. They're being so cheeky. They just keep walking these angles with no util. Team 1 is not expecting this. Depth are running the silliest plays in terms of just walking through angles, but it's working because Team 1 have too many angles to cover of their own. They're not expecting these maneuvers, and this change in tempo is catching them off guard. So Depth really doing a good job of keeping this close. Shane's going to try and make his way out T-Con. This is a bit of the wrong read just because you've got PRT and ladder. You got to play her back old bomb, but of course they can't know that. And so much time has gone off the clock. It's a reasonable suspicion that they might have split up towards site. PRT, oh, he's just spotted Shane with utility out. He doesn't get the kill. Maybe needed a little trigger discipline, and Kel's going to get him as a result. This is big problems. Shane is planting out in the open. Does Barton check this? He does. There's the kill. Bomb drop, spots for last. Barton has it, cruising through. But once again, with no one surviving, an off retrieved at the least, but there is no cash to build. Only silver lining for Team 1, this time, no bomb plant for Death.
And they get that round victory. That was really close. I'm surprised to see Depp just go into that bomb site with the last player's position unknown, not even a smoke or a flash or anything, and track for that plant. Barton
They don't like their util, do they, John?
They don't. It's strange. You were mentioning it, but I mean, they went out there dry, and Team 1's not expecting it yet. But if they keep doing it, Team 1's going to adapt, and they're going to be in trouble. No doubt about it. Mob's going to get the touchdown on Kel. Just a pistol buy up here for Depth, and Team 1 is already harvesting the fields of battle. Mob's going to get one over on Florgy. 5v2 in favor of Team 1. This should be their round.
Look, I get it. These are low percentage rounds, but I feel like I want a little bit more of a plan. Like, they're not investing. Depth clearly just, they view these as throwaway rounds. Like, they're not investing anything. They're not picking up the util, although based on the way they're using util, that makes sense. They got the one deagle into this one, but, I mean, if you want to throw away these rounds, 5-man rush something. You know what I mean? Like, it's a low percentage play, but if you get that first kill, boom, it's a bomb plant round's worth it. I don't know why you're just spreading around the map, kind of doing your own thing with Glocks. You're not gonna get kills. You're just not gonna win that way.
Yeah, lurking with Glocks never works. And I do agree with you, Mike, although I personally prefer if teams go for strategies on their pistol rounds than all-out rushing. But if you're going to be lost in that way, you might as well just try for the all-out rush, like you said, and that's not happening for Depth. But their gun rounds have been pretty good. I mean, they've gotten Team 1 down to one player over the last 2 gun rounds, and maybe they'll be able to pull off a few more wins here on their T side and make this one interesting. So far, Team 1's hanging on, but again, looking at their economy, they did have to settle for 3 MP9s in the previous round. That said, they didn't need to drop them, so it will be a bit of a bonus round heading into round number 8.
And this is important for them. They've had some issues being limited by those MP9s previously, but now that they've got a buy in the tank, presumably this gets a lot better. Oh, Pesa is just waiting. Here's the push. Here's the play. He wasn't expecting the flashbang. It caught him off guard, and he was staring straight face up, supposed to being further down the ladder, so he will be punished. But they took a kill in kind. PRT got that, and now it's just the players grouped outside the ladder. They've got nothing to work for it. I will say, Team 1, you can see it already. If you're watching Mobs right now, drop a smoke, start watching the smoke to see if someone tries to walk through it, because that's been Depth's playbook so far. Dare is going to test him at some point, and I think this engagement could decide the round. If Mobs catches him, boom, bomb down, round over. But Mobs is now backed out. He's gone the other direction. He's been caught by Florgy. He used the pincer on site. Had no support. PRT, good kill to trade it. But now they can move the bomb up, and they've been spotted. There's the double swing, but Maluk back on the angle supports his teammate. They know where Snav is now. Snav is in a serious amount of danger. Shane needs to try and get a little space off of him, and Snav will forget about the guy out Ivy, assuming that he'd rotated, leave himself exposed to it, and die as a result. Shane all alone now. Okay, he's going to throw a smoke. He's got the bomb. He's just going to try and force the bomb down to dirt. Here's the spam in. Somehow he's still alive. Oh, he's actually managed to escape. Maybe he can get a little bit of extra damage. No, he'll fall to the USP. There it goes. There's the defuse on. Team 1 have finally won a round with players alive and with some health and money to build. And they are going to take their 6th as well. So this is where things start to look very good for the Brazilian squad.
I'm surprised Depth even managed to get that bomb plant there, and get out of the smoke too. It looked interesting for a moment, but Team 1 hang on, and they're going to take the 6-2 lead. Now, one player who's sitting at 7-5 right now is Pesa. But overall this season, he has been lights out. 110 frags, plus 52 kill to death differential, 22 frags from out, which is good for number 3 in MDL, and a 104.3 ADR, number 1 in MDL right now. He also has a 1.90 KDR. The man is a monster, and I'm sure Team 1's happy to have him on that roster now. There's going to get a nice shot, and Kel gets another one. The Deagles are working.
All right, so maybe a little more investment into the pistol round, and suddenly we're seeing a little bit of success. They didn't really have more of a plan. It was just, you know, click heads, but if you're clicking heads like that, if you're swinging through the Molotov at ladder and managing to get a kill, hey, why not? So now they're going to group up. It seems like they're going to go for a B hit. That's a nice find for PRT just to soften the numbers. Bring this back within the realm of possibility and comfort. Here's the way they're going to play it, right? You got one player back of sight. That's going to be Barton. Barton's going to spot them. Barton's going to drop utility. Barton got to be careful about peeking away from them, but he's going to get killed. Kill. And there we go. Barton has made this easier for his team. The bomb is planted, though. It's a successful round for depth. Barton's just not going to let any survivors escape his wrath. Dare might get one here. He does indeed. And now he's a threat. Smoke goes down for bomb. Cleaned up by mobs. Next peak is dealt with. It's an expensive round, though, for Team 1. They're going to have to reinvest a lot and get a bomb plant out of it. I'd say, all in all, it's a big success.
Yeah, it's a great job there by Depth to get that bomb plant and get the money into their accounts. They didn't invest much into that round, and now they have 7K for 3 players, 6K for the rest. They'll be able to get a very comfortable buy up here. That said, Team 1 has really been rolling along with these rounds. We were tied at 2-2, but Team 1 has won 5 in a row. So Depth need to break that round win streak and really get something going on their T side. If they walk into the second half and Team 1 has 10, 11 rounds under their belt, it is not going to be a pretty finish. So they need to get into this one. Do it now. Double op setup coming in for Team 1. Maluk and Barton rocking those. And you saw Barton, I mean, he made it look easy, but in that situation, it's not always the case. Those pistols, nice.
Okay. All right. Battle off. Just charge him down and get it. Maluk and Barton, the 1-2 punch. It is not often that you see teams stack 2 ops into the same tight angle. Look, the 1-op, upper B hall, a classic. Very standard play. Barton then playing the 2nd-op, tight around the elbow. Not so much. Shane's even going to get tagged through the panel here. They've got the bomb. They know they've got this round. Barton's going to go looking for more. Fish in a barrel right now. Barton's got it. He's looking for the 4K. Don't you give it to him, Snav. Come on, you got utility. Use that utility. He's been tagged. The CZ comes out. Barton wants it. Oh, blood in the water for Barton, and he is a shark. The name might have it. No, not quite. Balls are they're just chucking utility up there. They're just trying to make this like difficult. Eventually the flames do spread. Malbs has him. Snav has been smoked out. Team 1 up to the 8-2. And now they're starting to look very comfortable indeed. 13-4 is Barton's scoreline. This man is racking up the numbers.
Yeah, what I tell you, got off to that slow start, but he's really kicked it into gear last match, and here he goes again here. 13-4, like you said, and he's probably going to start jumping to the top of the team stat sheet soon, but he's still got Pesa to compete with. But man, oh man, this lineup has become so scary, Mike, ever since Malb got comfortable here. Maluk is rocking it! 2K on Darren Shane. Snap does manage to pick one back, but man, these ops are scary. And you still have Barton watching ramp. Flashbang goes out, he dodges it, gets Kel, Pesa drops Snap. Only Florgy left, who will get one, but I don't know if he's got much more in the tank. With only 14 HP remaining, Barton gets the pop flash, goes up for an aggressive peek, and gets punished for it. I think Team 1's going to have to be careful here.
Yeah, Team 1 have entered the W holding portion of so maybe a little bit too much. Florgy is looking to bring some of these kills back. He's done a good job of doing damage late into these rounds. Problem is the bomb's lost. So even if he gets out, he's not going to have much chance. What is he trying?
I like the idea.
Do you?
I don't. For a moment, and then he did that.
What did you think his idea was?
I thought he was just going to hide in the smoke and then try to pop off and like jump down really quickly onto the site and maybe get a shot off, but no, he didn't do that. He just
had
out
like
of it.
13 health. He would have lost half of it to the drop down. I was trying to figure out what he was trying to do. He knew the player was watching upper, right? He knew the guy was watching upper. The spam's going to catch him if he gets caught, and if he comes out that way, he's going to get caught. He drops down the site. Presumably there's someone watching ramp in the bomb. I don't know. That was one of those plays where if it worked out, I'd have thought he was a genius, but it looked like madness, and, well, it didn't work out, so let's see what he is from that. All in all, Depth are trying some really wonky, wild things, where if they work, you look like a god, but they're not going to work 9 out of 10 times, and Team 1 is not really the team to expect to be that one time out of. But, you know, Team 1, this ridiculous aggression, they might give something back. That was some T-Con control attempted to take. It did get denied. The flashbang didn't connect, and as a result, they do lose Malbs early. Now this could get a bit spicy, could get interesting. Maluk very bold with this AWP. Spotted one, rather it's Pesa. Whew, Pesa gets dinked, but gets the dink back in turn. Now this is risky. You've got the op forced to watch. You've got a player already past hell. PRT's now been caught. Snav's out, but he gets traded. This is chaos between the
It
train
really is.
cars.
It just seems like depth are all over the map, but don't really have much coordination. It's literally chaos, as you mentioned. Florgy is the last one standing in a 3v1. Pace should have him, and he does. 10-2 for Team 1, who are really just running away with this one. And so far this season, that's actually been the story for Team 1. They've only lost 10 or more rounds against third. Impact on 16-11 scoreline. But I mean, although it felt close in terms of rounds, Team 1 were pretty much in control of that from beginning to end. Their round differential on the season is plus 65, and we're only 6 games in. That is incredibly good. In comparison, depth, 77 rounds for, 81 rounds against for a -4 round differential. So, I mean, you expect that from a team that was just promoted from advanced, but still, just to show you like the disparity between Team 1 and a lot of the rest of
Yeah. It's really starting to seem like, I mean, it's always top heavy in the Mountain Dew League, right? To a certain extent, we have a divide. Usually it's somewhere around the middle. This time it seems like it might be that top crust that really edges out the rest. Nice shot for Snav. He did get a kill, but meanwhile it's the Ops once more to just kind of peel back these bodies. Snav does have an AK for himself, though. That was the ladder drop with the Tech 9 where he found it. Maybe they can make something work. We saw a very successful round with the Deagles previously. Just depth have had a lot of trouble finishing off, even when they do get some early advantages, and, well, the advantage is long since lost here. Maluk running front side of the bomb train. That was definitely a bit risky, but you know he wants these shots. He's going back to it. He doesn't need to peek that. Now he's got support. Forky has punished him. Mobs, though. 1, 2, not the third. Is he going with the USB? Come on, man. Reload. Chill out here. Let your teammates get on the action. Shane is going to be trying to get around. He does, in fact, get a kill, but he's instantly traded by the awful Mobs. And Team 1, they've been playing really fast and loose and risky, to be quite frank. Very aggressive, going back in for peaks, trying to get the multi-kills. But they've got the economy to back it up here, John. They've got the money to fall back on. They're fine.
They really are, and I mean, depth are kind of taking the aim deal, so they're challenging Team 1, and Team 1's saying, no, you're not going to win that way. You guys need to pull out the strats a little more to come with the victories on your T side. And depth is a team that I actually like. I mean, it's very rare to see a core of a roster 4 out of the 5 players stick together for 3 straight seasons, and in fact, 3 of the 5 players have been together since Open. 8 straight seasons. That's insane. That's Shane, Dare, and Snap. I mean, at the very least, you know, they have good chemistry, but right now I think they're being outmatched. Nice shot from Snav over on pace. Mobs trades it back to make it a 4v4, and Mobs has been up close towards T-Con quite often in this first half. Depth got the edge on him a few times, but now he's getting control. Dare is going to get PRT to make it a 4v3, so they have this man advantage. It's not a strong one, and there it goes. Maluk and Mobs get taken out before I can even finish my thought on what Depth could possibly do to win this round, and now you have Shane getting spotted by Barton, and Maluk finishes off Dare. So every time Depth seems to have an edge, Mike, Team 1 takes it away immediately.
I mean, the thing that we're seeing is that they're trying to play a very unorthodox style on Train. And it's working sometimes because they're catching Team 1 off on timings and they're getting some opening kills. But that's great. Then you need to be able to settle back into a bit more of a disciplined site take. You need to have that utility come out. You need to be coordinated and know what you're covering. And that seems to be where depth are struggling. Just really not seeing the utility usage from them that you need to have any success on a Train T side. It's a hard map to have a T side work, especially against a team like Team 1. As we established in the pregame, this is Team 1's best map. Team 1 are looking like they're probably the best team in the Mountain Dew League, certainly top 3 without question in current form. It's a tough draw for depth in general, but you'd think if they left Train in the veto against Team 1, they'd be coming in prepared, and we're not seeing it. We're not seeing it to this point. So here's one last round, one last hurrah. Depth took that timeout to come up with whatever they're doing. They got some utility. They got 3 smokes, a Molotov, a bevy of flashes. Let's see it work. Let's see the util. Let's see it do something here. Instead, oh, that nade. A little less chunky than I thought, but that is a heck of a nade. That's the you know, tight window throw to see if you can't snipe someone above ladder.
It's not the easiest throw either, and he pulled it off.
No.
Didn't do the damage, but still impressive. Dare and Florgy looking around here to do some damage. Florgy's had some flashes of brilliance here for his squad. Haven't really led to any round victories, but maybe they can string that together with a little bit of coordination to come with something, but Mobs immediately deletes Dare as he comes down, then gets Florgy. In the meantime, Maluk and Pesa get 2-3 more. I mean, Mike, it's happening so quickly, there's barely time to talk about it. But Team 1 are now up 13-2, headed into the second half of action. Yeah.
The thing that's hurting here is how often Depth died with utility in hand.
Yep.
I believe that number is tracked on ESTA. I'm going to have to see that in the post-match page, but it feels like even in rounds where they have full util, where they're buying up smokes, flashes, mollies, everything, they're not using it. Either Team 1 is pushing them so aggressively that the fight happens before they get the util out, or they're pushing so aggressively and trying to catch people off guard by going dry through angles that you're dying with just tons of money wasted on your tool belt. It's hard. Maybe Depth is going to have a miraculous CT side here and show us something that we haven't seen thus far, but whew, this one's feeling like it's only a matter of time before Team 1's going to take it. They're completely out of their weight class in this game to this point. They do not have an answer for the Brazilians, but prove me wrong, Depth. Let's see what you got. Let's see if you got a little bit more fuel in the tank. There's going to be the spot outside. Pesa is alone. He's vulnerable, and he's going to go down. Shane and Florgy have both gotten kills now, but here's the inner take. Problem is there's still a player upper, but Shane's just been left here, and he doesn't want to peek back out. So he's not going to deny the bomb plant. That at least is secured for Team 1. Now they're double pushing him to clear him out because they know they need to hold this to win the round, but it doesn't matter. Okay, Shane, there's the spice. There's the play. 2 quick taps for the USP. 3 kills in total on the round. He's got 1 HP, but that was a pretty clip to put in the portfolio. Depth survived for now.
That was a really good pistol round, to say the least, but we did see success from Depth in the early rounds in the first half as well. It's once they got going into their rifle rounds that they started to struggle, even though we were complimenting them quite a bit because they got Team 1 down to 1 player twice in a row and really had their economy at bay, but couldn't capitalize on it. So maybe, just maybe, their CT side strats are a little more compact and tight, and they'll be able to get this done and pick up a few rounds in a row. It's going to take a lot of rounds in a row, but on a map like Train, it's not unusual for you to see that.
I believe in the possibility. They're going to break out the AUG as well, which we saw them work with the Krieg in the first half, so it really shouldn't surprise us since the AUG is even a little more viable, I'd say, than the Krieg right now. That tap through smoke's pretty nuts. Damage done on the mobs. See if that makes a difference. Well, it's a massacre coming back the other way. They're getting nothing, and it's clean to this point. Team 1, kill finally working out for them, but that's going to be all she wrote, and their bodies, they hit the floor. Depth, nice round. 4 players surviving. That is a lot of cash saved now here, John.
Yeah, that's a really good job for Depth. Exactly what the doctor ordered. Team 1 also forced up into that round, so they're not going to be able to buy up much of anything coming into this one. Didn't even get the bomb plant. You are going to see, okay, they're investing into maybe deagles across the board. Looks like only 4, because Maluk wants to save for that AWP. But still, 4 deagles in the hands of Team 1. You can never count them out on these pistol rounds. Looks like they're going to go for an execute into the A side. That nade into Tikon could do some damage. It does. Snap connecting on PRT with the touchdown. 5v4. The deagle of Team 1 does get Shane down to 30, but Depth are in control for the time being. There is a cheeky little smoke from Pop Dog, and Barton might consider boosting over.
Oh, here's the swing from Dare. He catches 2. The boost up gets caught, and it's going to be another clean round here for Depth. So cash for days, John. I'm going to see them start to drop guns. You see Dare was just getting rid of his MP90, breaks out the AWP, so they're going to have everything working their way. But this is the round where it's interesting. This is the round where Team 1's bringing in the rifles, where you've got them from Depth. They've got full belts of utility as well. I want to see them use them. I want to see those nades come out and be used effectively to push Team 1 back, because if they don't have that utility usage on their CT side, I think this is still going to be a pretty quick game. But we're seeing the early util get dropped down. They're chucking out the mollies. They're isolating some angles. They're throwing down smokes. Kel, oh, thank God he didn't peek that dry. Thought he was going to expose a little bit too much of himself out towards Ivy and get his head taken off by the ult. But for now, at least, Depth seemed to have a pretty nice setup. PRT, though, boosted over at Ivy. We'll catch 1. He's killing on his lonesome, and he's got to back out. His teammate's been lost, but at least he can keep the AWP alive.
Yeah, but it's a good start for Team 1 on the rifles again. This is where Depth need to challenge more and come out with those victories. Shane, Looking at upper B tunnels. Barton is lurking around there, but still hasn't shown his presence. So, an unknown threat to depth, who are a man down for the time being. As Florgy goes towards E-Box, looking for some aggression. The timing could be in Pace's favor if he comes out at the right moment. And Team 1 does have a bit of utility to play with. A flashbang over at the right time could work out well.
Oh, Maluk was going to put a bullet in his teammate there. Very zeroed in on the angle, and the angle had a lot of friend in it. No foe. Now there comes the swing. Pace is coming over. Utility down. This is going to be the take. Florgy falls. He was the only player actually able to deny this. Otherwise, they're back out at Ivy, back out at Old Bomb. But the Ivy play catches one. Unfortunately for depth, it is traded. And this is maybe what we expected, but Shane now mollied out, has to back out. And in a 1v3... now the question is, does he save? There is money available for depth because they had 2 relatively clean rounds come out, 1 entirely clean round come out, and followed by 4 alive. So there's the possibility to go for this, and they don't have a lot of rounds to give away as cushion. Big kill for Shane. Now that might coax him back in, but he doesn't have time. He's too far off. He doesn't have the time. His teammates dead. His enemies just watching the bomb. He's just going to try and survive here. So it will be a 14th round for Team 1. The guns come out, and it's a different story. But depth do have the cash to fall back on. They will be fighting down the line. They could break out the double op here if they wanted to as well. This one could still have some fight left in it.
We'll have to wait and see, but yeah, that's a really convincing round victory for Team 1 on that rifle round, despite the fact there were some exit frags on Depth's side. But the one thing to note is that Depth did actually perform quite well against the Clips, which features Droid, Zeptic, Bite, and Brett on Train. They won that one 16-8. Forgot about that match, but Team 1's a different beast. As Dare is going to get a beautiful shot for himself over on Maluk. So winning the op versus op duel. You saw Barton, who's been very effective with it so far in this match. Who's
Look at Pesa.
A few shots off.
Look at Pesa. He's gotten right past Kel. Kel, oh, fortunate for him. Falls off and reacts in time to realize where Pace is at. That one looked very dangerous indeed, but now it's PRT who's retaking his place. That's a missed on smoke. A little bit awkward for mobs. Might allow them a little bit of a gap to peer through. Certainly no cover from the smoke. Snap. How does he survive? How does he survive? What on earth? He manages to just about get away with his life. Down to 5 HP, and now he's been lost. Kel, though, will get the trade, and this is working out. PRT knows where his teammate is, but Kel is doing the damage. 3 kills on the round so far. Barton's going chasing with the pistol, it seems, but Kel's going to wisely back away. He can play around his teammate. The Molotov is going to prevent the peek. Kel does not have the health to test the flames, so he's going to be pushed back into Ivy. But they're regrouping. Barton has a chance at this bomb plant now. 40 seconds to go. There is no one who can deny it from him if he takes it to a safe spot on the train car. Wants one more pick before he does so. Is he just going to go to B? He's just going to go to B. No. Come on, Barton. You know you want to. He's trying to get that last kill. Now he's going to realize no one's going to give it to him. He'll clear this. He'll say, all right, fine, I guess. Now they're coming his way. Oh, he's sticking around for the fight. It could. He could collat them here. No, they're playing for this peak. They know he's coming. He's not going to expect a second player from the angle. Certainly not. But if you plant safe, it won't matter. And he is going to plant safe indeed. Shane coming in with the util. The molly's on the right spot. How did he read this? And the flames will get him. It wasn't even the bullets. It was the flames for Shane. What a weird tail end of the round. Barton wanted the fight. Didn't want to just get it with the guns. Shane, you're not defusing, bud. Reloading stops the defuse. Someone explained to Shane that he... Okay, there we go.
Oh my goodness.
Maybe he's just baiting. I think he just forgot that reloading stops the defuse.
Perhaps. Or he's just having a little bit of fun. But either way, Dep do get that 6-round victory. The thing is, if Barton peeks around that corner at Z a moment earlier, he'll get the info that both players were there. But, oh man, he does get a very nice frag, but because, as you mentioned, he wasn't aware of the other player coming up on the flank, that was the round right there. Some excellent utility usage there by Florgy as well. Or Dare, excuse me. Match pause going to come in. And speaking of Dare, he is been a top frag for their squad so far this season in 6 matches, 121 frags, plus 16 kill to death differential, a 1.15 KDR, and an average of 20 frags per map. He also has 8 3Ks. throughout the season. So he's been an important player, as he was in the previous season as well. We'll see if he can make his mark on this match, which, I mean, Depth do manage to win back that round, so Team 1 won't really have much to buy up here. It's their chance.
Yeah, this would seem to be the opportunity, and if they can break it here, maybe we're getting in towards 8. Could even be seeing double digits start to creep into the possibility. It's certainly much more of a game than it was just a short time ago. Florgy has a critical position. He's holding it with a deagle and ladder. This could be the weak point on this defensive setup. But at least for now, they're not going to test him. It seems like Team 1's going to go for the sidewalk strat, and this is a decent hold setup for Depth. They've got the op watching ramp from a long range. Then they've got the rifle watching up top. Now there's going to be execution from Shane. It works out beautifully just from on the ladder. He is raining down death and punishment. The flanks up from ladder. And Florgeet with just the hand cannon is going to get it done. Nade might finish it if his teammate doesn't. And it will, in fact, be the Kobe coming through. So Depth take a clean round. They've done a good job of cleaning up those rounds against the anti-ecos. And now Team 1, AK's back on the prowl. No op, but full utility. Can Depth continue to hold up? Is Florgy going to buy a gun? Yes, he is, John. Just wanted to make me sweat a bit.
Yeah, indeed. As 2 M4 A4s, an op, and 2 AUGs for Depth. So they're rocking those scoped rifles here on the A site. I do believe that them are. Yeah. Kel over at Ivy. Snap playing right next to him. Oh, Kel's going to engage right away. Goes down to 19 HP and is going to have to retreat after spending quite a bit of utility towards Ivy. And Depth right now, 4 members on the A site. The one anchoring down B is Shane.
Shifting about a bunch, but they seem to have found a comfortable spot. They're going to push Florgy into ladder. This could be a critical piece. There's the flashbang to allow him through. Team 1 hearing that flash should have a decent idea that he's here, but timing could be everything here. Florgy just wants to push up. He's thinking about it. They did it with a deagle in the previous round. Now he's making the move with the M4. There's a player behind him, though. Is he going to check for it? He is. He's going to get his head ripped off. Dare's done some damage, but the trade is there. Shane traded out as well. Advantage Team 1. Bomb going down. Now this is a very tough retake for Depth. And they don't quite have the cash they had once upon a time. There is some question about whether they're going to save if they can't get an initial pick here. So what they're looking for, they've got the AUG peering down the angles, trying to find it, but Snap's been lost, and at this point, Kel might want to bail. He's going to stick around a moment too long. He's going to get his bell rung as a result, and that's Team 1 with map point. And the money in a bit of an awkward spot for Depth.
That was a really good job by Team 1 to sneak into the B site. Depth wasn't even really aware that they had come down the ramp because they had to back off due to utility. And just a good job. Team 1 getting match point. They have 8 chances to secure this one. As Depth are going to force up whatever they can get. That's going to be an AUG, an M4, an OP, an MP9, and a deagle. So still a chance for them to strike back here, but Team 1 looked quite good on that take. And look at this, Spartan's already pushed up, gets one, Mob's a second, 5v3. Depth are nowhere even close to in position to deny this take of the A site. You see one in the smoke. That's Snav, who's managed to at least hide out for the time being. He does get one. Actually, Shane gets one, Snav gets a second, but Pace is there to clean up, and PRT with the last one. Bit of mayhem.